Good evening and welcome to It is a Drug Crusade. We start this scene close to the skin shop, the Blooming Rose, the brothel that Orsini owns and operates. Madeline is just seems relaxed as always. She's just heading inside, and her two ghouls are standing outside. She'll just have them come in. They have nothing to fear at this place. They will just sit in the lobby, and she will head up the stairs and just knock on the door to the office.
Come in.
And as Madeline just looks in, she will
Surprisingly,
just say, "Good evening, brother."
surprisingly enough, you find a candle lit on Orsini's desk, and though it struggles to be kept alight, surprisingly it does so. As Orsini sees you, he just gestures with his hand above the flame and extinguishes it. Sister, it's good to see you. Come in.
Thank you. She closed the door. Likewise, my brother. Tell me, you said you wanted to see me?
When don't I want you to see you? It's always nice to have a talk with you. Friend of yours was here not too long ago. In fact, he just left. A certain Father Louis of Clan Bruja, if the name rings any bells.
Well, it does. I met him some time ago. I suggested that the two of you would meet. You seem to have certain, well, similar opinions.
He is an interesting man, I'll say, to say the least. He came with a business proposition. We shook on it. He wants to form a little alliance between, let's say, the less religiously inclined of the city. But I shall not bother you with such uninteresting matters. He is, at least from my point of view, a potential ally. So few in recent nights. It's the Ventru trying to usurp us, and the Tromir trying to manipulate us, and the Toreador poisoning us with their sweet words. It's good to find comfort among other clans. As strong and as versatile as our blood may be, we can't be in all places at once. And though I hate to admit it, we need to survive among other clans as well.
He seemed a quite spirited individual in more than one ways, I suppose.
I suppose we could say that we're not unlike each other, him and me. But still, he managed to tell me something really interesting, something that I was not aware of. Apparently, he had a little altercation with our sister and her children.
Oh?
Well, from what he told me, he messed with our little Irene, not knowing her status or her clan for that matter. It was within his right to do so. Though I'm thinking that our sister might try to enact a small revenge. I see the matter as trivial. If Celine cannot prove a worthy sire for her childer, then she might as well either release her or give her to someone who's more able, to one of us, for example. I've got nothing against anyone of our blood, sister. And you know I'm a man of few words and brutal honesty. Celine prides herself in wanting power, in wanting status, yet she cannot control her own fledgling. It reflects badly on her, it reflects badly on her childer, it reflects badly on all of us, and it reflects badly on our entire clan. We do not need to be made fools of by any other clan. We should consider ourselves lucky it was one of the Bruja and one who can be reasoned with. What would have happened if this little escapade fell in the hands of another clan, of someone who wishes us ill? What if it was a Ventru playing with this little fledgling? What if it was, let's say, Gerard playing with her? We would have had a snake in our breast that we'd nurture close to our hearts without even knowing it, because Celine doesn't know how to handle her fledglings. I have two childer, you have childer as well, if I recall correctly.
Oh, I do.
It never happened to any of us. And if I managed to impose my will on Osam, who's hardly the man to be reasoned with, anyone can handle someone as delicate as Irene. This angers me greatly, and I shall not fail to bring it up when first thing I see Celine. We do not need conflicts with another clan. We have our troubles as it lies with the Ventru. I wish not to risk angering the Bruja, especially another member, to have conflict, to have conflicts of image between two clans of the triumvirate is shameful for the entire city.
Quite so.
We need to deal with this matter, and we need to handle this matter as quickly as possible without letting it go out of hand. And I, for one, see a single guilty party in this whole problem, and that is Celine. Call me scared of newcomers, call me untrustworthy, but at least you and Ulrich proved your worth while you were here. And even after the things we did for the city in the past 100 of years, we are not so bold and so rash when we ask for respect. Respect is something you gain via your deeds, not something you come asking for. Power as well. I had my doubts about this newcomer. Apparently I was right.
While your mistrust of outsiders is, well, a certain, well, virtue of yours, mistrust of others in general, this is a problem, and a problem that we must deal with somehow. How truly do you, how exactly are you suggesting to do this?
I would not dare bring such a trivial matter to the attention of our primogen. I think we're more than capable of handling ourselves. Celine is obviously incapable of handling a fledgling. Ulrich is tied up with this whole affair.
What? What exactly did this Father Louis tell you?
Basically, he told me that he managed to bond Celine and made her do some would call unsavory things.
Hmm. By her own volition?
As long as I said he bonded her, her volition was not exactly her own. Though if that fledgling had the decency of introducing herself properly, or didn't stray too far from her sire outside our domain, this thing would not have happened.
Well, honestly, I am thinking of something a little bit different. The Bruja do. This may be a passionate man. How can you trust that this is indeed true? Irene is a neonate, and she is not what I would call mentally strong and able to withstand, what shall we say, manipulation.
And whose fault is this?
I am not saying about thought. I am saying, would you trust a member of another clan over one of your own? Would it matter for you? I'm merely asking questions. Would it matter for you what difference or how exactly this blood bond was formed?
I know this much, sister. You know, I trust the clan above anything else. You know, I trust the tenets of the clan, and whatever I do for the benefit of the clan. But if one of the clan, through their own lack of judgment, so to speak, brought shame upon the clan, I feel obligated to resolve the matter. I'm not one for casting judgment without hearing both parties. But if whatever this father told me is the rumor that spreads on the street, it will weigh down heavy upon us. I have a nose for spotting liars. I deal with thieves and hookers. I dealt with them for the past 100 years. I can tell you the man was not lying. Should you feel inclined to investigate him further, use the powers of the blood on him, make him confess.
No. Even if he did use the powers of the blood on poor Irene, I do not see any need to do this on him. What I ask, what I think, is merely what exactly are we? Would it be you wish to place the blame on Celine? Not much I understand. But how do you intend to solve this situation? And is the matter not solved by now?
Apparently it is solved, and it isn't solved. The fact that Father Louis decided to keep this from himself, for himself, is All fine and good. The matter still stands. We need to deal with this accordingly inside our clan. Since Irene is a fledgling, she has no word to say in front of us. It is Celine, as her sire, that needs to answer for this. She needs to be punished for what happened, and we need to make sure this thing doesn't repeat. Next time she might fall for a member of another clan, and she might prove a Judas among our blood out of pure innocence. Do you wish to take that risk, sister?
She looks at him for a moment. No.
Then might I be so bold as to ask, what solution do you propose for this matter?
Well, honestly, I would like to know, first of all, just have a talk. Why have none of us been informed of this? I think this is a good place to start with these questions.
You weren't aware of this?
Whether or not I was aware of it, it should be first and best opportunity. You should speak to the clan of this matter. Now, I might have been distracted currently, but at least for the moment. That is my fault. But honestly,
Sister, I'm asking you a simple question. Were you aware of what happened between Louis and Irene?
no.
Yes.
I was not.
Then the matter is settled. I wasn't aware, you weren't aware. I do not wish to parade our status inside the clan. But if the two of us didn't know, and presumably not even Ulrich knew, I'm sure that even our hires wouldn't know.
We should ask for assuming anything. If she did indeed inform Ulrich, well, it is a bit of a different matter. But we should at least make sure that we do not presume too much.
Sister, a clan matter, a matter that affects the entire clan, should be known among the elders and the ancillae the second it happens, so we can take proper measures in combating this.
If she has indeed informed maybe Ulrich, her own volition, and not spread it before because she felt the matter was not for discussing with everyone. That is, I believe, her prerogative, and, well, cannot really fault her for that, can we?
It's not her prerogative, sister. This matter affects the image of the clan. The whole clan should know, and you know I am adamant on these matters. The fact that she tried to run to Ulrich or to her primogen and hide this is not because she wished the clan not to know, it's because she wished her image to be untarnished by something which should not have happened. I am firm on my position. You know that even if I love all our clan, and I see you all as brothers and sisters, that doesn't mean you don't have to prove yourselves in front of my eyes.
Oh, that I am quite aware of. My that I am quite aware of. But
Need
I
I
am
remind you
merely
what happened?
saying we should probably have a meeting where we talk of this, and you should not start by suggesting a solution for a problem that we might be able to debate. I am, of course, unless, of course, you are suggesting that we punish her for in some way. I do not know if this is what you are suggesting.
I'm of course suggesting that Salim lose custody of this child. Should any additional punishments be deemed fit by whoever else, I see no problem. But that child should not remain under Salim's command and responsibility. She's irresponsible. She's not prepared to handle a child.
Mm.
If indeed this child is a special case, like you said, and her mind is not her own, maybe she shouldn't have refused our offer to help first time she came into the city. It was her pride and her vanity that blinded her. It is the fact that she wanted, even with risking the image of the clan, to maintain her own. If hiding things is her only talent, and she wishes to manifest it when it comes to the clan, I have a big issue with that matter. I see that you wish for me to be reasonable, and I know I don't take your advice as often as I should. But if I had the courage to challenge Ulrich's claim to become Baron so many years ago, he did not hide his mistakes. He faced them like a man. He proved to me and to us all that he is a worthy leader, that his mind is sound, that he's worthy of following and worthy of bearing the name La Sombra.
And you feel
You did the same.
Yes, but you would by then say that Celine has forfeited that proof?
In a manner of speaking, yes. If you dare bear the title of Ancilla of our clan, and you can't handle one child when most of us have 2, 3, or even more.
Very well. Would you say that you would take her as your own? Or would you suggest that I do it?
I could. I have a talent with dealing with special cases. And he gestures towards the door, behind which is awesome. I have a talent with special cases. And besides, the child showed an interest in our talents. Maybe giving her time to study within my establishment, which is well guarded, and would not see her wander off.
I would not say that she is fragile, but I do not believe that. I know that you are capable, brother, but perhaps we should think of a. I do believe I will be able to teach this young one much. I have a relatively good relation with her already.
If the clan sees fit that your more motherly approach is more beneficial for her, You will hear no complaint out of my mouth. Though still, and I wish to make this clear, I can make her a decent member of our clan, and I'll release her when she's ready and she's not gonna shame our clan. If her mind is not her own, maybe we should go the other way. Maybe we should see the limits of her madness and try and tame it. And when it comes to nightmares and things that go bump in the dark, I pride myself with being the expert.
I know.
Should she prove worthy enough to become a member of court, should she prove sound of mind enough to handle the Ventru, the Toreador, the viziers of the Assamites, the diplomats of the children of the dragon in court, of course, there should be no one better than you to train her. You are, after all, the one who ran the city in Ulrich's absence. You were the legendary neonate seneschal that held the city together among two, and you see Orsini smirk. Arguing brothers, so to speak.
Do not remind me. She smiles at that.
Yet you held your composure and held the city long before this triumvirate.
Did you ever meet Ivan Zul in Esferatu?
Out of character, I don't remember as a player. Rossini would surely remember, but I'm gonna say no. No, I've heard his name, though I didn't interact much with the sewer rats. There's something about them that unnerves me, and honestly, it's not their looks or their smell.
He seems to harbor some imagined slights against myself and Ulrich. He might become a problem, although I do not feel that it is a problem yet.
I would suggest not starting a conflict with
I
the
do not
Nosferatu.
intend to. I merely wished to hear your perspective.
I haven't heard anything of this.
But if you do not wish to involve the seneschal, how exactly would you force Celine to relinquish her child?
We could do it with the three of us, you, me, and Ulrich, basically talking to her and forcing her to do what is right for the whole clan, lest she'd risk losing more face. Our primogen and seneschal is a patient man, though I know he can be as drastic as I am. Losing her child there would be the lesser evil in this case. Should she fail to see reason, we will bring a stop with our primogen. But she might lose even more than her child. Our primogen has the right to strip all of our statuses. She might find herself in the position of being a neonate again, regardless of her age and ability. And should she fail to present herself, we can prove to be friends. And Orsini, when he says friends, he says it in Latin. So you understand the exact reference he's going for.
Very well. I wish the best for this clan. And such troubles is not something we need in any way. So I agree with you that, well, certain precautions should perhaps be taken, but I would think we should talk with Ulrich first, no?
You want to ease the punishment on Selena as much as we can.
Not necessarily. I would simply want to hear from Ulrich himself that he did not know either. Because that is the case, well, then I would be very inclined to believe, well, to side with you at least.
And if Ulrich knew, what does that make us? Are we lessers? Ulrich is no longer the Baron. We are equal in rank and status.
Well, it would at least show that she has some sense as to protect the clan somewhat. Not saying it's a good sense, but not saying that what she did is a good thing, but
Then answer me this, sister, and consider it an innocent question, like all my questions are.
yes.
If Ulrich knew, what makes you think he would have kept it to himself and not even consulted with you, you who were his right hand for the best part of so many years? The two of you were almost like twins. Everything he knew, you knew, and the other way around. I was the odd brother in our little trio.
Now that is a question that I myself would ask of Ulrich. All the more reason for me to speak with him first.
It would be unlike him to hide anything from you.
Indeed. There might be a reason. I can imagine it would be a good reason, but oh well.
Yes, Ulrich has not been himself since we returned to the city.
Indeed not.
I know the loss of Michael bear the heavy toll on him, but still, he is really unlike the Ulrich I met and knew so many years ago. But you know him better. You know his mind and his soul better than I do. And I do not wish to interfere between the two of you.
I think we should at least speak with him, but regardless, if he knew, it is something that we need assurances. Well, I do believe we need some assurances as to what's happened, what is going to happen in the future.
Yes, for matters such as this, I think we should speak to our primogen. I wish no ill of him, of course, but I think he has too many responsibilities. I think he should at least delegate, like some clans do back home, a hand of his for the clan, someone to deal with matters such as this, or even a primogen. The prince has a primogen for his clan, and I do believe a keeper also. With the whole matter of Mary, I think we need people to focus on their given task and not spread too thinly.
Quite so.
But if it comes down to a vote again, it's gonna be interesting to say the least. But still, these are matters to be best to be discussed within among the whole clan.
Indeed.
It is merely a suggestion, merely out of the wish of being more focused on what we have to do. And in all honesty, though, getting my old position back is not something I'm looking forward to. I wouldn't mind having a bit more authority inside the clan. But still, these are hypothetical discussions to be had another time and in larger company. There is another matter I wish to discuss with you. Your Toreador friend, the monk, the nun.
Yes.
How is she?
Oh. She is better now.
Better.
Well, she is. She was not really worse off, but well, she wanted my help in a certain matter. It ended up being a lot more dangerous than I had anticipated. And well,
And what pray tell would the nun want from you that ended up being dangerous?
to investigate a certain old lady who was inviting her to dinner. I do not know if it was a Cappadocian or whatever, but needless to say, we were attacked. I managed to get us both out of there, and thus wise, I saved her life. And in so doing, she now owes me a blood boon.
Basically, Orsini is giving you the slow clap. I applaud your bravery, sister.
Well,
See, it is actions such as your own that bring pride to the magisters.
she has a certain benefactor, the father of Clan Cappadocian. He is connected to her, guides her. I intend to gain certain knowledge of him. This will reduce the severity of the boon owed, but it will gain me much knowledge that well, that his clan tends to keep quite closely to themselves.
You wish to get knowledge from the Cappadocians through a blood boon owed by a Toreador. If you manage to pull that off, sister, you have my deepest respect.
Well, he was the one that offered. But I understand why. They came here, and at a certain point, they tend to leave, or they have expressed their willingness to leave the city. If she is owed a blood boon and leaves the city, well, that would be very bad. So, I can understand why he would perhaps go out on a limb to solve this matter as soon as possible. That would make them able to leave whenever they want and not being able to stay on my whim.
The blood boon is no small matter, sister.
I know.
Yet I would advise you to be cautious when dealing with the prince's clan. They are great scholars and agreeable company, but they have their own weirdnesses.
Hmm.
So this lady that invited you for dinner, is she the old hag
Lady
that
Roth. Lady Roth, or as she called herself, Lady Roth. She was different. She had servants that were different.
is she the old lady that you spoke with in the market that night when I found you and Joanna?
Oh, I do not recall. Perhaps.
Out of character she was.
Oh, okay.
I see. Yes. So is she dealt with?
I have informed the sheriff, and hopefully he will. If he has not already, he will.
See, this matters like this is why I try to gather together the great magical minds of Edessa. For all we know, she could be a tool of Mary. And strong and brave as the Bruja are, they're in no way fit to deal with such matters. You need users of our more hermetic talents. That's why I want to bring together the sorcerers from the other clans, because the Tremere are more than incompetent in dealing with this. We need the Cappadocians and the Simiti and the Assamites and the few Abyss mystics we have working together to make sure that events like this don't happen. For all we know, you could have lost your life.
Hmm. But I didn't.
But you could have. The possibility still stands, sister. The fact that you are owed the blood boon proves me that your Toreador friend at least is a woman of honor. But the matter still stands. These events need to be dealt with. It could be one from a series of many. The precedent is already created. And I would hate to see anything happen to you. And though we seldom see eye to eye, I take great pride in calling myself your brother. And should anything happen to you, I can assure you, sister, that whoever lays a hand on you will have to deal with me and whatever I might keep in my back rooms. And Orsini grins.
I know, brother. But I tend to gain. His father, this Cappadocian, did seem to know a lot more about this old woman. Perhaps what she was, what she can do. Whatever the case, I will perhaps gain a lot of knowledge from you of this, and maybe other things, but no,
Are the Cappadocians going to teach you how to raise the dead, sister?
no, not that though. She smiles.
Fine.
I nearly caused an incident suggesting, well, did not suggest something like that, but close, I suppose. Well,
Actually, this reminds me, sister. I've heard stories about sharing powers of the blood. I've heard it can be done through a blood bond. and ample teaching.
Mhm.
Do you know more of this by any chance?
I have partaken in such a thing.
And how did it prove itself to be an impediment at any point?
Pardon? Any what?
An impediment.
No, not that I am aware of. I learned the discipline of Auspex. This one.
Huh? You might want to teach me that at some point. I could make it worth it. Sight beyond sight is something I always longed for.
Hmm, perhaps.
Then I shall tell you this, but this shall remain between the two of us. Your friend, this Broha father, came to me with a lot of propositions. And I made him the proposition of sharing and partaking of each other's blood in hope of learning the power of the blood from one another. But I wish for this to remain between the two of us. I wish to teach him how to bend the minds of others, and he in return will teach me how to entrance the masses.
Mhm.
If this sharing of the blood is not an impediment, I think I shall go forward with this. But I feel reassured knowing that one of the clan whom I can trust is aware of this, should things go wrong.
It would be interesting to see if you would see some of the same effects as Dear Irene.
I doubt.
I do too. But
I
it
am.
is worth at least a thought.
I doubt that his blood is strong enough.
Well, the blood bond will come regardless.
It will come regardless, but it will be mutual and not strong enough to make me change my mind.
Quite so.
Clan comes first above anything else. And besides, if it makes you comfortable, it wouldn't be the first time you bonded me to you.
Well, you came out the other end. No worse for wear.
Yes, though I was younger back then.
Mhm.
And though my tongue is as sharp now as it was then, now I have something to back it up with.
Oh, you had that as well, then. Of that there is no doubt.
Yes, but back then the situation was different.
We
We
were
were
all
young.
young. We were all young at that time.
Compared to someone in the city, we still are pretty young. I fear the days when we will be so old that this whole kind world will be so foreign to us.
Hmm.
The world is changing around us, and not for the better. But still,
In what aspect are you thinking?
some paragons of my path talk about how we should not revel in creation and how everything will return to the primordial darkness. There's apparently things like this happen without us having to push them along. These crusades, these wars to see who has rights about on lands whom are not rightfully, which are not rightfully theirs, fighting for the bone of that saint and the finger of another, and pieces of the cross and pieces of the shroud and pieces of the whatever. This is brother killing brother for trinkets and for gaining lands. It's been a bit over a century since we were sired, and the world feels a bit different now. We do not speak the same language as people on the streets do. The way we speak has changed. The way they speak has changed. Who knows what would happen in 2, 3 other centuries? We are like trapped in the time. We are trapped in the time in which we were sired, as our faces and our speech do not change that much. We will be forced to adapt. It is maybe that why I grow less interested in political matters like I did in my youth. It is that
Madeline just sits there and considers his words for a couple of moments. And she just sits there and just... But she doesn't say anything. She just seems to consider his speaking.
And here I go rambling about like an old man. Words of wisdom coming out of the mouth of Fabio Orsini. This would be a story to tell your grandchildren one day. But sister, we have matters to deal with. We need to cover this whole affair with Celine. We need to find out what happened with this Lady of Wrath. See what happens in our alliance or collaboration with this Father Louis. And I wish to see your Toreador friend again. She seemed interesting enough. Though if she happens to lose her temper on my grounds, I'm afraid she'll be considered fair game.
She kept herself well enough last time, did you not think?
Ah, yes, but she was on the edge, and I could feel that. And I could see that. You know where I stand in these matters of the faith.
Oh, I do.
But she's a good connoisseur of cloth. It's been a long time since I've seen someone with an interest in my original endeavors.
Well, she is on the path of bones. She is not your typical cloistered assistant.
Unfortunately, my knowledge of paths is not incredibly great. I focus on mine instead of focusing on others.
Understandable.
Well, if you see her again, you can tell her she's welcome in my abode and at any time.
Oh, I am sure she will be glad to hear it. Tell me, brother.
I know, sister. Apparently, as we get older, everything runs slower. for one reason or another.
For most, I suppose.
Patience
But
is not a virtue.
tell me, are you going to speak? Do you have any idea of when you would convene and talk with? When we should meet with Celine?
The sooner the better. But it should be the four of us. Do not drag the fledgling in. If you, me, and Ulrich can't help her see reason, or if this matter is improperly dealt with, maybe we should take it to the Primogen. If not,
I will speak with Ulrich. We'll speak with Ulrich, and the both of us, well, the three of us, will meet, talk with Celine, and have this matter settled as soon as possible.
then so be it, sister. Talk to Ulrich. And we shall gather when I am summoned. Though I find it particularly delicate in recent nights to go from place to place, I can find a way. My condition attracts attention.
Oh, I know. We will, I will, you make it work, and the two of us, I'm quite sure we will find a solution to this. And well, your particular charms will always win out in the end. And she smiles somewhat widely and just, but I will see you later. I will have to speak with Ulrich as soon as possible. Have a very good evening. And she will get up and curtsy to you.
And Orsini gives Madeline his typical bows. May the
Yeah.
shadows guide you, sister.
Oh, they always do. And as Madeline leaves, the two ghouls will follow her as they always do. And the scene will come to a close. Thank you very much, players, for playing and watchers for watching. Good night.